It is another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the one new release of May 22nd, 2008, Memorial Day weekend. But unlike the last movie we looked at, The Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian, this is a blockbuster that I defended back when it came out, and I continue to defend it even to this very day. It's a film that still is very polarizing with a lot of people, but I don't care. This is one of the movies that I will defend until the day I die. Let's talk about the fourth installment of the Indiana Jones franchise, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I mean, the trailer was great on its own merits. The marketing for this movie did a really good job of selling the film, and it was a success when it came out. It did receive a lot of very good reviews from critics, and it was a financial success. It made over $780 million worldwide. Actually became the highest grossing film of the series, not adjusted for inflation, but yeah, it's a film that really is a lot better than a lot of people let on. So in this movie, this takes place 19 years after The Last Crusade and acknowledges the age of its star Harrison Ford, being set in 1957, where it pays tribute to the science fiction B-movies of the era, pitting Indiana Jones against Soviet agents, one of them led by Cate Blanchett, searching for a telepathic crystal skull. Indiana is aided by his former lover Marion Ravenwood, played by Karen Allen once again, and son Mutt Williams, played by Shia LaBeouf. You also have Ray Winstone, John Hurt, and Jim Broadbent joining in on the ride. And, yeah, this was a movie that was a hit when it came out, but then even as the year was coming to an end, people just started turning on it for no reason whatsoever, calling it the Phantom Menace of the Indiana Jones franchise, which, judging by the logic now, this should be seen as a much better movie than people let on. But nope, they'll continue to praise the hell out of the Phantom Menace, but this movie, toss it to the side. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this. Here's why you're wrong on that. Now, don't get me wrong. There are definitely a lot of scenes in this movie that I can't defend. The overabundance of CG, yeah, that's a problem. The pointless Shia LaBeouf role, I'll give you that. The nuking the fridge scene, yeah, that's not a very good scene. I can't even defend that scene, but, you know, how many crazy over-the-top things have happened in other Indiana Jones movies beforehand, and those got a free pass? Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I think it's a better movie than Temple of Doom is. Yeah, come at me. I like Temple of Doom, but it's definitely the low bar for the Indiana Jones movies. It'd be Temple of Doom, Dial of Destiny, this movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Like, it's to me the best of the Indiana Jones movies is the Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade. But you gotta remember, King of the Crystal Skull got a lot of backlash against it even before it was coming out. First of all, it had been 19 years since the last Indiana Jones movie, and nobody really thought a fourth film was necessary. But more importantly, George Lucas's name became such a menacing figure, a menacing thing in general, after what he did to Star Wars with the prequels, to changing over to the original films. And of course, you know, Guido shot first, that type of stuff. So there's no way the film was going to win over an audience that quickly. And of course, everyone was skeptical of its release. But honestly, like I said, it's not Phantom Menace. This is not anywhere near the Phantom Menace. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. It has a ton of flaws to it, but to fully understand why the movie is not as bad as everyone says it is, let's take a look at the major complaints we've had about this movie. I've talked about this stuff before, but if you're new to this and you haven't seen any of the other videos, sit back and allow me to tell you everything that I feel is wrong about this film. For starters, the overabundance of CG in the film. I mean, yeah, we've seen a ton of movies before and after this movie that have overused the CG, and really, the CG in this really doesn't bother me all that much, especially after Transformers had so much CG the year before. And just to prove the movie has the flaws, obviously the most pointless scene of CG in the film is when you have Shia LaBeouf's Mutt Williams swinging on vines with a ton of monkeys moving around. Like, that was one of the only few CG flaws that I saw with the film in particular. Even when the aliens show up in CG at the end, I didn't think they were that terrible. Yeah, they're generic aliens, but really, we have seen so many generic crappy effects become more praiseworthy, but the aliens here don't get a free pass. I mean, honestly, which leads into the next problem that everyone has with it. And that's the fact that aliens are in the Indiana Jones movies. People were so mad that they were going to have aliens in this movie, but when Watchmen came out a year later and didn't have aliens, just like in the graphic novel, people were complaining, like, why weren't they in there? So it's just like, let me see if I got this straight. You want aliens in those type of movies. Do you want them in there or don't you? And plus, the subtitle of the movie is called The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So Obviously, nobody looked at the title and thought to themselves, I wonder if aliens are going to show up in this movie. Crystal Skull literally means extraterrestrial. Go back and look at the scene where Indy and Mutt are talking about God, where Mutt says that God's head does not look like that, and Indy then goes, depends on who your God is. And let that scene explain why that should not be a problem. The film is explaining that it's about a higher power, sort of like the religious elements in the other Indiana Jones movies, such as the Ark of the Covenant in Raiders, and the Holy Grail in The Last Crusade. And then, everyone's biggest problem with the film was that they thought that both Steven Spielberg and George Lucas had no idea what they were doing. Obviously, you people out there forgot that Indiana Jones is supposed to be reminiscent of the old school B movies and action adventure serials of the 40s and 50s. It was clear from the very beginning that both Lucas and Spielberg wanted to make a fun action adventure, just like the other three films did, and it succeeded to me. But not to everybody. Of course, one of the biggest criticizers of all time, South Park, did that episode where they spent the entire episode as basically saying that, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas raped Indiana Jones. And it's just like, I love South Park to death, but that's still one of the worst episodes of it because it literally serves no point. Like, when they did the Free Hat episode a few years prior about, the special effects updates in E.T., they made fun of that with Raiders of the Lost Ark. That made sense. That you can make fun of because, yeah, the CG in the 20th anniversary re-release of E.T. was terrible, and it made sense. Here, there's just nothing funny to say about it. There was nothing clever about it, unlike that episode. It's just, hey, let's just say that they raped Indiana Jones. Why? Because everyone else is saying it's bad, and we don't like it either. It's just like I said, I love South Park. I love it when they go for the dark satirical edge, but that was pushing their boundaries way too much, and it really hurt the ebb and flow of that particular episode. It was like, I was really let down by how they presented an episode. But again, you need to keep in mind that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is not my favorite Indiana Jones movie. It really does not deserve all the hate it got. It's a fun action-adventure film. It's got the same quick wit, the action-packed energy that the original films do, in the sense that everybody was on board. They were 100% game for this, and they were having fun with the project. There are a lot of flaws that could have easily been fixed up. But honestly, I will gladly take this movie any day of the week over Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom just has so many things about that movie that I hate more. Kate Capshaw, Ke Kwan's been a great actor, but his performance as Short Round in there was so obnoxious and just not fun whatsoever. I'm glad he's gone on to become a really good actor in the years since then, but that movie still does not hold up well. That's still, to me, the worst of the Indiana Jones movie. But even then, I like that movie. It still has a lot of memorable moments to it. And Dial of Destiny, I would put that right in the middle between Crystal Skull and Temple of Doom. I think that movie is a lot better than people make it out to be. Yeah, the Indiana Jones movies, there really has not been a bad Indiana Jones movie. All 5 films have been of quality in some way, shape, or form. If I'm going to choose the best ones, Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark will always be the echelon of Indiana Jones. But this movie, I thought, was still a lot of fun. I still really enjoyed the hell out of it. I loved it back then. I still enjoy it now. I may be the only one that defends it. So be it. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a movie that I will defend until the day I die. If you go into it with the right mindset and know what you're going into with the other Indiana Jones films, you should have a good time with it. I know I did. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we'll have 3 movies to wrap up the month of May with the Sex and the City movie, Liv Tyler starring in The Strangers, and Danny McBride in the comedy The Flint Fist Way. So, 3 films to take a look at next time around. We'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please go ahead and hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification button, and the bell. That's when you get updates on when new videos come out, and we do post new videos here every day. So with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.